Welcome back to another episode of Born to Bear It. This week's episode is all about why IVF is just so taxing. So let's hop in. This is going to be a pretty short video, but I just wanted to make it because I've had a lot of conversations lately with other women who are going through IVF just about how much pressure there is when you're going through IVF because in vitro fertilization seems like a last resort option. It's not like people are signing up left and right to start IVF unless it's something that they're told they have to do or they feel like it's one of their only options left. And so because it's a last resort option, it's almost like this is it, right? Like this has to work. Like this is all, like if we're gonna have a kid of our own, like this is how it's going to have to be. And so because it's so expensive, because it's so sciencey, right? Like this has to work. Plus you just hear all of these success stories, like this has to work. And that's not always the case. And unfortunately, there's so much that goes into IVF. That's why it's so daunting, because it's so expensive. And because there's such a community of women out there going through this, they're sharing their tips, their tricks, everything. It just creates a lot of pressure. For example, you could read and do your research about a book and also just studies out there that says like it starts with the egg. And so 3 months leading up to your IVF cycle, you can start a really strict diet. And also a lot of fertility specialists will tell you to cut out caffeine, cut out all these different food groups, and eat as healthy as possible and maintain a good exercise regimen. And it's a lot. That's hard for any woman to do, let alone when you're already stressed out about trying to conceive and starting a family. So you could do everything right. You could read the book, you could go on the diet, you could cut out the certain foods, you could work out every single day, you could do all those things perfectly. On top of that, you could do the questionable but very highly recommended, why am I blanking? Acupuncture. There are a lot of people that say like doing acupuncture can help your chances of IVF success. So you could do the diet, you could do the acupuncture, you could pay for an ERA ahead of time, which an ERA is an endometrial receptivity analysis, I think, where it's like a test run and you essentially pay for a blank cycle of IVF. You're doing all the medications still, and then instead of implanting, they go in and they biopsy your uterus to make sure that they're doing everything at the right time, they're giving you the right amount of medication, just to make sure everything is correct before you go through the actual IVF cycle. So you could do the diet, you could do the acupuncture, you could pay for an ERA, which is expensive, but they say it's worth it because what if your doctor is implanting at the wrong time? You could also pay a lot of money to have your embryos genetically tested. So you have normal embryos. You're implanting at the right time. You did the diet. You've exercised every day. You've read all the books. You've done all of the weird, odd things like eating the core of a pineapple and having McDonald's French fries on the day of your transfer. And you feel like there is literally nothing else you could have done right. And then you got the dreaded 2-week wait where you're waiting to find out if your stress levels were low enough, if everything lined up perfectly, and if this was successful, and you find out it wasn't. That is why IVF is so hard. And so I just want to say to all people who are going through IVF right now is that you have to be in the right mindset. I've talked to a lot of women who say that, like your mind's got to be in the right place because of all of that pressure. And I don't know, this might be my advice only. I don't know if anybody else would say that, but throw all of that crap out the window. Is the diet what the thing that's going to make you successful? No. Is the acupuncture the thing that's going to make you successful? I don't think so. And so if that stuff is putting too much pressure on you, throw it all out the window. And also give yourself a break. Know when you've had enough at the moment and when you need to kind of take a step back. I know that can be difficult, but sometimes it's what we need. Sometimes it's what we all need. to kind of evaluate where you're at in life and know that you need a break, and it's okay to take a break. Even though I know that you feel like your maternal clock is ticking and time is running out, it's not. 1 month 2 months will do you wonders if you take a break. To do what you need right now. This is a weird video, but I just felt the need to make something to talk about, IVF seems like the magical, perfect option, but it's not always. And there are other options out there, and I plan to make videos about that coming up, so stay tuned. And as always, stay awesome.